Chapter 9. Castiel. Aizawa's POV. Something was wrong with the kid. He didn't want to decide down but was backing away. Not only that, but he also escaped us from the hospital too. This was also only after we needed to give the nurse some information about him. I honestly only knew his name and nothing more. However, the moment he escaped me and Zashi went back to the hospital to question them about his health state. That was when they told us that they were not allowed to give us these kind of information out even if we were pro-heroes. All they were allowed to tell us was that he was safe and out of danger. Nothing more and nothing less. However, it didn't put me at ease at all, and this was why I came over. It was not that I wanted to recruit him or anything. I wanted to make sure that he was all right. Once he started backing away and hit the wall, I knew that something was wrong. He also had the smell of burned skin and blood attached to him. Red flags popped up in my mind, and there was only one person I knew had burned marked on his back. Castiel. Perfect high. His body is also built the same way. If he had a shot wound yesterday, then that would explain quite a couple of things. There is only one way to find out. However, before I could approach the kid properly, the fire alarm went off and I watched the kid walk towards the door as an obedient student. Something was fishy about the alarm. It was a perfect timing, and even if the school was burning down, I would still make sure to find out the truth. Once he was close to the door, I used my scarf and got him. Izuku. Ah. A small painful yell escaped his mouth, and with a quick motion I had him on the ground and started to release him while also pulling up his uniform to have a better look at his back. It was bandaged up and the smell of burned skin was getting stronger, as well as the smell of blood. Me. Castiel. Izuku. Me. Why? Izuku. Why what? Me. Why are you a vigilante? Izuku. How about you get down from me and we talk about this in a different place? Me. Does your family know? Izuku. What family? Me. Kid, does your mother or your father know about this? Izuku. If they did, then I would be 6 feet under. Me. This is not the best time to joke around. Izuku. Who said I was joking? Me. Saw you coming with me. Izuku. Depends. Where are we going? Me. Izuku. Heck no. Me. Kid. Don't make me wrap you up in my capture gear and drag you there. Izuku. You are very welcome to try that, and how about you get down from me now? Me. If I do, you will start running. Izuku. Maybe. Me. Sigh. I was kinda forcing the kid to lay on his stomach for a while, but after he said that, I helped him up and we both were now exiting the room and walk outside since the fire alarm was still going off. Izuku. What now? Me. What do you mean? Izuku. I mean, what are you doing no with me? Me. What should I do? Izuku. Come on. You obviously know my other life and you also have a responsibility to give me over to that detective. Not to mention that Nezu, your boss, wants to talk to me. Me. I am going to get you back home and make sure your parents get a piece of my mind. How the heck did they not know you were shot or even let you go to school with such a high fever, not to mention this back injury of yours? Izuku. Hate to break it to you, but my mom is not at home. Me. Where is she? At work? Izuku. She actually doesn't have a job, so no. Me. Where is she then? Izuku. I don't know. Me. You don't know. Izuku. That's what I said. Me. Guess you are coming with me then, kid. Izuku. What? Me. You heard me the first time. Izuku. Why? Me. I can't have an injured, quirkless kid running around the city doing stuff he shouldn't do. Izuku. Why? I technically never did something against the law. Me. Oh really? Then what about your hobby? Izuku. I am quirkless. I have daggers, but they can't injure anyone. The blade is only laced with a tranquilizer that is not a drug, not can harm my opponent. All it does is getting them out of the game while I deal with them. Then again, I never attack first, nor did I trespass. So you have nothing against me. Me. You need to talk this over with Nezu. As far as I am concerned, you are injured and you are coming with me back home so I can get RG on you. Izuku. Nope. We were about to exit the building when the kid all of a sudden started bolting inside the building again. Me. Sai, don't make me do this. Izuku. Come and get me, caterpillar. Me. Sigh. Why can't you just go with me? Is this really necessary? You are goddamn injured. How are you even moving that way and running this fast with such an injury? You shouldn't even be able to walk around like a normal person. I turned around with my capture gear and my hand started chasing him. Chapter 10. Come and get me. I couldn't help but try to get out of the school in a different way than the front door. I mean, who wouldn't? He just found out that I was Castiel and tells me to get with him. Like, no way in hell was I going with him? Besides, it was not like I wanted to be caught or die in the first place, but I was so sure by now that Live was after me and wanted me dead. First I get shot. Then I get a fever and the attention of a pro. After that I got shot again. Get healed and burned by a pro on the same day. And everything happens in a time span of 2 days. Life really hated me. At the first opportunity, I turned around and bolted the other direction and screamed at the caterpillar to go and get me. I didn't know why I was screaming caterpillar, but he looked like one to me. No one can tell me that a hobo-looking man was not some sort of caterpillar with that black hero costume. Needless to say that I saw his sleeping bag yesterday in his car. He was 100%. Once I started running, I quickly went up the stairs and around the corner. Next thing I did was dodging his scarf while I was running up and down the stairs in one corner just to get to another floor in the other corner. Needless to say, I was careful not to make any patterns and started running randomly into rooms and out of them to trapping the hero in couple. At the end I somehow managed to lose him. Not only that, but I also was now completely alone and out of breath. Me. Where did he go? I mean, my goal was to get rid of him, but he was way no fun this way at all. However, I was also glad that he wasn't running after me again. It was getting hard to move and I could feel something dripping down from my back. Knowing that, I went to the next bathroom. There was no way he would find me in a bathroom. There were like 21 classrooms on each floor, as well as 4 floors he had to go through. Then there were also the restrooms and the other rooms where the students don't have access to. Well, a lot of doors to open and rooms to check. That was for sure. Once I was inside the restroom, I quickly put down my black jacket and also my white short. After that I turned around to have a look at my back and it looked bad. Me. Fucking flaming trash of a hero. Shit, now I am even sounding like Kachan. The moment I was about to rest and wash my back a little bit off, the door towards the restrooms was burst open and an exhausted and out of breath hero came inside looking at me and my shirtless top body. Eraserhead. Found you. Me. Huh? How? Eraserhead. Kid, you are leaving a blood trail. Me. Oh. Eraserhead. Turn around, kid. Me. Why? Eraserhead. I always have some first aid with me as well as some cream against burned skin. Me. And you are to tell me that you are casually carrying it with you everywhere? Eraserhead. I do. Kid, do you see how many pockets I have? Me. Too many. Eraserhead. Useful. Me. Alright. There was no point in getting away from him just yet. I let the hero come over to me and apply some on my back. After that he loosely bandaged me up and I put back my clothes on. Once we were done, we went out of the restroom, down the stairs, and that was when I started running off again. Like, I jumped over the railing of the stairs, landed on the ground floor and started bolting. Eraserhead. Seriously? I could hear the pro hero sigh and question his live choices for a bit before starting to run after me again. However, I quickly got into a large room where normally we students like to hang our breaks. There was also this nice chandelier. Some crackling could be heard in the room and I thought that the hero might have dropped something. It made turn around and lose my footage so that I landed in the middle of the room right below the chandelier. Eraserhead. Watch out, Izuku. I was about to get up if not for the scarf that wrapped around me and junked me back. In one moment I was trying to get up and ignore the pain, and in the other I was being hugged from behind lightly and could only watch as the chandelier came crashing on me. Me. All I could do was blink. Eraserhead. You okay, kid? No response from me. I still couldn't believe what just happened at all. Me. Eraserhead. Kid? Before I knew it, the hero released me from his grasp and began carrying me out of the school. Once we were outside, Bakugo came over to us and nearly exploded seeing me so quiet. My situation could be described as playing dead with open eyes. Though all I could do was think about what happened. It was too big of a coincidence that just happened. Which led me to think that someone knew about me or cursed me. Since curses were not a real thing, someone was after my life for sure. Bakugo. What the fuck did you do to him? Eraserhead. Save his life again. Bakugo. Put him the fuck down. It was only after I heard Bakugo's voice that I snapped out of whatever I was thinking about. Though I really tried to remember if there was someone following me and knows that I was Castiel at all. Me. Kachan, stop. He really saved me. Eraserhead. So this is Kachan, Bakugo. Bakugo for you hobo. Eraserhead. Sigh, I have not the time to deal with you. I am bringing him to a healer. Bakugo. Fine. Deku, text me when you feel better. Me. I will. After that, Eraserhead went towards his car and put me inside, telling the principal that I got hurt and that it was his job to make sure that everyone was alright. I could tell, however, that the man wasn't pleased by what he said, and I knew that Eraserhead knew it too just by judging of the tone of voice he was using. Chapter 11. What's the rat doing there? As the hero said, he did bring me home, to his home. Not only that, but the most popular healer, Recovery Girl, was there too. However, she was not the only person there. Nezu was there too. Me. What's the rat doing there? Nezu. Ah, so you must be the problem child he was talking about. Me. Drop the act, you damn chimera. You know who I am. Nezu. I do, Castiel. Aizawa. Me. What the heck did you tell him? Aizawa. Apparently enough to figure it out himself. Me. What did you tell him? Nezu. Not much. All he did tell me was about your wrong number incident and that you were shot, as well as that he found a problem child. It was Mike that told me the rest, what happened in the hospital, and I felt free and went ahead to get your medical file. Me. So you knew I was shot twice in a time span of 24 hours. RG. Oh dear. Come over here and let me have a look at your back. A.N. I am too lazy for Recovery Girl, so RG will need to do. I did what she told me and I could hear a gasp coming from her. Nezu. Quite a nasty wound. Endeavor, I assume. Me. Yep. That pile of trash went after me when all I did was save his sorry ass. RG. I'll heal you, so please sit down and get comfortable. You might feel sluggish and sleepy once you are all healed up. Me. K. Thank you. RG. No problem. I did what the healed told me and made myself at home on the couch. The rat was looking at me, and as soon as I was ready she used her quirk on me and healed me. However, after she was done I didn't felt tired or anything. RG. All healed up now, dearie. Me. Thanks you once again. Nezu. You don't seem exhausted or tired at all. Me. Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Sherlock. Nezu. I would be careful how you are talking to me. Me. Why? You think you have more information about me than I have about you? Nezu. Oh, I am sure of it. Me. Well, hate to break it to you, but how about the spy you have installed in the Hero Commission, or that you are currently blackmailing the head of the Hero Commission as well as the governor or a couple of heroes? Nezu. Quite knowledgeable. Me. You never know when you need it. I made it my personal business to make sure to keep a close eye on everyone that could be dangerous to me. Nezu. A good advice you have there. How about we introduce ourselves officially then? I am Nezu, the principal of UA as well as a pro hero. Me. Nice to meet you, Nezu. I am Izuku Midoriya, or otherwise known as Castiel a Vigilante. Eraserhead. Sigh, why'd I feel like this? Nothing good. RG. Because what you just witnessed is a demon making a pact with another demon. Eraserhead. Just don't get him into more trouble. Nezu. More trouble? Me. Welp, it's not like I am searching or going after trouble. Eraserhead. You serious? Me. Okay, I might be slightly inviting trouble to come over with the whole vigilante thing. Nezu. Did something happen earlier this day? Me. Oh, nothing much. Eraserhead. You call a chandelier crashing down on you nothing much? Me. How about I call the little goose chase we had nothing much? RG. You're chasing him with these injuries? Eraserhead. He didn't give me much of a choice. RG. Shoda fucking Aizawa. You always have a choice. How can you make him run around, and how did you even run around with these kind of injuries? Me. Had a lot worse injuries before, so I am used to something like this. Nezu. That is quite worrisome. Me. Well, that came in the package I signed up for when I decided to become a vigilante. Nezu. Then how about you get into UA and be a pro afterwards? Me. That was a funny joke there. Nezu. You misunderstood. This wasn't a joke at all. Me. Sir, I'm quirkless. Nezu. I know. Me. And you still want me to become a hero? Nezu. That is what I said. Me. Did you hit your head too hard or something? Eraserhead. Kid, stop it. Just accept the offer already. Me. You fucking know I am quirkless. Each exercise done in the hero course can kill me. Nezu. And your current life could kill you every day too. Me. True. Nezu. As I already implied, I would be gladly accepting you in UA as a special student, of course. Me. Special student? Nezu. Yes. I want you to be part of Aizawa's class here as well as be my very own protege. Me. You want me? You rat want me? Nezu. Calling me a rat is rather rude. Me. You are pretty known to be a rat god or a rat satan of UA, and I am rather sticking with only rat since you are both of them at the same time. Nezu. That reason is acceptable. Me. So again, why would you want me? Like seriously? There are literally hundreds others that would love to get the place you offer. Eraserhead. Kid, no one has as much potential as you. Me. You mean bad luck. Nezu. How about there is someone after you and you need protection? Reason enough? Me. I knew it. RG. Is that the reaction you should have after just being told that someone wants you dead? Me. No, but that proves I am not going insane, and that is not bad luck. RG. Dearie, if you are ever getting hurt this bad again, I'll chain you to a bed and let you heal the good old-fashioned way. Me. I can deal with that. Eraserhead. Trust me, you don't. Nezu. Now how about it? Everyone in this room will be keeping your secret identity a secret, and you will be attending UA next year. Me. No catch? Nezu. No. Me. I want that one on paper, black on white. Nezu. Done. I saw the rat pull a suitcase from beside the couch and out it on the table. There was a stack of papers inside and he was giving me them. I started reading over them and I could see that he did prepare for this moment. Me. You knew I would ask for this. Nezu. I had a feeling that you would after what I gathered about Castiel. Me. I see. We both signed the papers and I got the original documents and Nezu had a duplicated. Now this felt like I just signed my soul to the devil in form of a rat. Nezu. Pleasure making business with you. Me. Pleasure is all mine. Nezu. Though you should know that my words are as good as this stack of papers. Me. I believe you know that I'll trust you once I get to know you better. Nezu. Of course. Just make your own judgment, my dear protege. Me. Now back to the topic. You said someone is after me? Nezu. Yes, and I still haven't had the chance to find out who it is. Me. If they know who I am, they might go after my family. Eraserhead. That might be the case. As we were talking, I could all of the sudden smell something good, and it was RG that came over to me with a cup of hot white chocolate. RG. Thought you might need it. Me. Thanks. Not only that, but all the time while we were talking she was in the kitchen and made us some snacks. RG. Dearie, take some. I know that you are way too light and thin for your age. Me. Thanks. I gladly accepted the food before we would go right to the business. Someone was after me, and there was a good chance that they were also after my mom and Kachan. This was something I couldn't have at all. Chapter 12. My family. Gone. After that lovely little talk, I was forced to stay with Eraserhead since they still couldn't get my mother to answer the phone, and Kachan wrote me back that she still wasn't back. This was how I spent the night over with two pro heroes. It was also Eraserhead who officially introduced himself as Aizawa Shota to me, and his life partner Mike as Hisashi Yamada. All in all, I occupied the guest room and tried to get out, but it was Aizawa who made sure that the windows were locked and closed, and as if that wasn't enough, he was also sleeping in front of the guest room's door in his sleeping bag. Like, dude, couldn't you give me some space? The next day we went over to my house since I needed some school stuff, and that was when we noticed what was going on. I opened the door and nothing was out of the ordinary until I went further inside the apartment. There was the strong smell of blood and rotten flesh. Aizawa. Stay here, kid. Me. The heck I will. That was all I said before running to my mother's room. I was always forbidden to go inside, and this was the reason why I stopped right in front of it too. Hesitant, I began reaching for the doorknob, which was completely covered in blood. There was no blood trail at all, but the doorknob had some on it. Aizawa. Izuku, step back. Me. She's still my mom. This was all I said, and all the time I needed to get my feelings in chest and open the door. I was scared for a bit that someone might hit me when I go in, but seeing as my mom kid and probably would need a lot of help straight away if she isn't already dead by judging from the smell. The moment I opened the door, I found my mom laying there on the ground. My eyes went wide because of the state she was in and the room that was covered in blood. It was such a gruesome scene that I fell on my knees sobbing. There in the middle of the room on her bed lied my mom, beheaded, and every part of her body was also ripped in pieces. As if that wasn't enough, her organs were laying on top of the blood-stained sheet and her chest was completely open. Her heart was put on her head, which was facing the door, and was in between her feet at the bottom of the bed. The more I was thinking about the scene, the more I wanted to throw up, and Aizawa picked me up and sprinted out of the apartment to the street and put me down only after making sure that I wasn't shivering anymore. Aizawa. I am so sorry you had to see this, kid. Me. I wanted to open the door after all, no matter what you said. Aizawa. I'm bringing you to UA. You are not going to your school today. Me. But, Aizawa. No buts, Izu. You are still shaking a little bit and you are as white as a sheet. I knew he was right, and I also knew that there was nothing I could say or do to make him rethink. On top of that, I wasn't in a condition to even run away. That was how shocked I was from the scene. This was how me and the pro went side by side towards his car, got in, and were on the way to UA. However, after a while I had a very bad feeling. As if that wasn't enough, I had also the feeling that someone was watching and following me. I began looking outside the window and to the side mirror only to see a black car with tinted windows. Me. Aizawa-san? Aizawa. Aizawa is enough. Me. Okay, Aizawa, can you turn right here? Aizawa. Why? Me. I think the car behind us is following us. Aizawa. So you noticed? Me. Yeah, and I also have a bad feeling, and I know I can trust my gut. Aizawa. Sure, if that makes you feel better. He did as I asked and the car began following us. Me. This is bad, isn't it? Aizawa. Hold on, think, kid. Without any warning, Aizawa began speeding up, and this was how we kinda got into a car chase. He threw me his phone and told me to call Nezu and tell him about our situation. I was about to do that until we got to a street with no cars. I began searching through his contact until I saw something yellow with some electricity bolts from the side. Looking towards it, I saw a huge track coming right at us through a yellow portal with lightning bolts all around it. Me. Brace yourself. That was all I could say before actually hitting the call button. There was absolutely no way we could dodge that, nor could we turn around or just drive backwards. It was coming at us with an incredible speed, and this was when it hit us. It was as if time began to slow down as I saw all the shards from the window break and I got shaken up. The car began to tilt to the side and roll a couple of meters. I saw some blood drops going through the air, and I looked to my side to see Aizawa having a huge wound on his head. His eyes were also slowly falling down. I wasn't any better. Everything started spinning and turning around. The moment the car stopped moving, we were hanging upside down, and I could feel a stinging sensation coming from my cheek and my leg. A couple of minutes passed and all I could do was blink and try to focus and get my full body control back. While I did that I could hear a tingling in my ears. Past that tingling I heard someone approaching us and I started to play dead. Is he? Who Castiel? No way. Let's check it. I didn't know the voices at all but I could feel someone touching my neck. Still alive. Get him out. Our boss will love this news. What about the other person? The guy was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Thank God they don't know who Aizawa is. Collateral damage I see. Wait, before you get him out give him the injection. Alright, completely forgot about it. The guy did as he told and I could feel the injection piece through my skin and only seconds later I felt very hot and passed out completely. All I could do was worry about Aizawa as he was badly injured or so I thought from what I have seen. Chapter 13. Black Rose and Castiel. Nezu's POV. I was in the middle of trying to find out who was after Castiel. There were a lot of enemies the little kid made to himself since he started being a vigilante. However, there was only one big organization he got down and the mastermind of it in jail. As if that wasn't enough, there was a recent jailbreak and the mastermind behind that organization got loose. It wasn't hard to guess that they came after him for revenge. Me. The question is only how they found out that you were Castiel. I began searching for more information until my phone began ringing. Looking at the caller ID I saw that it was Aizawa and knowing that it was rather early and Izuku was with him, I picked up the phone and answered. Me. How may I help you? Once I heard unknown voice I immediately started tracking the phone only to find out that they were in an abandoned part of the city. Without any hesitation I muted myself and called Mike and a couple of pro heroes as well as Chio to get to that explicit coordination I got. All I could do was hope that they were okay and that they wouldn't get killed. Is he? Who Castiel? No way. So they really knew who Castiel is. Let's check it. Still alive. Get him out. Our boss will love this news. What about the other person? The guy was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Collateral damage I see. Wait, before you get him out, give him the injection. Alright, completely forgot about it. I heard some rustling and a crashing sound and I could only think about the phone that must have hit the ground as well as them getting Izuku out of the car. While I still was listening to the conversation which was now barely heard, I was also coordinating the police, heroes and ambulance to rush at the side. We finally got him. Boss will be happy about our catch. That was all I heard until I could hear the siren and the heroes' voices. This was the sign for me to end the call. I knew from that small conversation that they were willing to do anything to get the poor kid in their hand. Now back to the question. How did they found out about Castiel's identity? I began checking up every single information I could get about Izuku, seeing if there was anything that was connecting the organization to his private life until I found an image. It was a rather old image of the organization's first debuting attack. Back then there was a woman involved who had a psychokinesis quirk. Although it was weak, she was still very dangerous since she always had needles and knives with her. Now after finding that picture I immediately began searching for any videos that contained a woman with that had the same costume on, and this was how I found out about her quirk. The mystery woman was called Reclusium. That was when things began to get interesting because I could make the connection between his mother and Reclusium. Both women had the same height and appearance as well as quirk. Knowing this meant that the woman somehow must have found out about his son's doing. That meant that she told them who he was. This was the only explanation I got, since all I could find about Castiel were some new reports saying a vigilante by the name of Castiel saved an orphanage and one that said unknown vigilante brought organization down. Castiel is the one suspect of doing this. The kid was very careful not to leave any information at all, and this was also an indication of what a bright mind the kid must have. Once I found that out and got informed that my staff members were back with Aizawa, I immediately went for the infirmary room. Me. How is he? Chio. Not responsive but safe. Me. Were there any kind of security footage around? Mike. No, we couldn't find anyone that even heard what happened. Me. I know what happened. Mike. How? Me. I got a call from Aizawa as everything happened. Izuku was kidnapped by the Black Rose organization. Mike. Wait, but isn't that organization gone like their big boss in jail if I remember correctly? Me. Not anymore. There was a jailbreak and there were only 3 persons that escaped. All of them were important members of the Black Rose. Mike. But how do they know about him? Me. His mother was a part of the Black Rose. Detective Tsukachi was a dear friend of Mike and Aizawa. This was why I had him here. Not only that, but I trusted him not to tell anyone about Izuku's identity even though it was his job. Needless to say that people never disobey what I say for a good reason. I could simply end a man's career if I wanted to in seconds. Tsukachi. My detectives found a dead body in the kid's home. From what they told me, it is the mother and she was gruesomely put on display. It was too much for the newcomers. Me. I see. So my suspicions were right. Chio. You wanna let us join in your thoughts? Me. His mother was a member of Black Rose. I was only hypothesizing that she might have found out about his doing and told her higher-ups. Seeing as how she was put on display, that means that it was true. Tsukachi. I can confirm that. They found Reclusium costume neatly folded below her chopped-off head and a black rose inside her chest. Mike. We need to find Izuku. Me. We do, but we also need to be careful as not to allure the whole organization. Mike. They have my son Nezu. Me. Your son, you say? Mike. IAHM. I mean Izuku. Me. No need to correct yourself. I am aware of Aizawa's search history on the UA PC about adoption processes. After everything is over, I'll help you too, of course. Mike. Thank you. After that, I went back to my principal's room and started researching about the old abandoned hideout of Black Rose. If they were that dumb to make it rather obvious of who they are, then there was a good chance that they would stay at their old hideout too. I also had Chio send me reports about Aizawa's condition, and thankfully it wasn't something very dangerous and could be healed by Chio immediately. Chapter 14. An open business. I woke in a room. No, I was more like in basement, chained to the wall. My feet were not touching the ground and I was hanging by the chains on my hand. I had something around my neck. My guess it was some kind of illegal quirk suppression collar. Though I didn't had any quirk, so this was pointless. It was dark in the room, but by concentrating on my hearing I could tell that I was alone. My mind instantly remembered what happened before I blacked out. I began trashing and trying to get free, but there was no chance that I could get out of these cuffs only by my raw strength. Me. Arg. The moment my pulse began speeding up because of how much I moved and the whole situation, I was electrocuted and it hurt so much. It was also something I did not expect. Normally quirk suppression cuffs or a collar don't shock their user. Okay, so this is really a shock collar too. Just great. Where am I anyways? And who's with me? I tried to focus on my hearing again, but I couldn't hear anything at all. How did you know about me being Castiel though? I never told anyone about it, and I also never acted in any kind of way for you to manage to gather such details. Unless, could it be? There is no other way. Mom, so you really were a member of this organization after all. Don't tell me you found out about me being Castiel. I knew it. You being that quiet for long wasn't a good sign after all. Though I never thought you would snitch on your own son. As I was analyzing my situation and speculating how much these guys knew about me, the door to my room opened and someone came in. What a pleasure to finally meet you, Castiel, or should I call you Izuku Midoriya? So they really know my name. Me. Cut the crap out. WHO are you guys? Maybe he is so dumb and will give it to me. I never saw these guys ever in my entire life. I need some informations. My name Ha, you don't need to know that. But seeing as I will be the last one you will ever see, I will grant you my name. I go by the name of Breaker and I am a part of the Black Rose. If I get out of here and you escape me by then I at least know who I need to hunt down. Breaker. Oh, and we got your friend Bakuko too, just in case you try and do something funny. Kachan? Me. What did you do to him? Breaker. I did nothing, but my partner Bones had a lot of fun with him. You know, the poor guy refused to say anything about you. Me. Where is he? I knew I would be shocked because of how much I was angry and boiling inside, but I needed to know it, and to be honest, how dumb can he be coming in the room without backup? Breaker. In the room left next to you. My neck hurt and I could smell some burned skin. How high did they put that shit on? However, I didn't care if I hurt my throat or not. I needed to gather information while I can and use the situation I was in the best I can and turn it to my advantage. Me. Get me out of here. I swear if I get out, you and your friedn will be dead meat. You hear me? Breaker. Oh ho, someone is talkative. Damn it. Fine, I will endure the pain. I looked up since he turned the light on and I could see the cuffs now very clearly. There was a way to get out of them, but I didn't like it at all. However, seeing as this is the only thing I could do, I broke my left thumb on purpose so I could get my hand out of the cuff. The dumb person in front of me had a key in his hand and began wiggling it in front of my face to anger and mock me again. However, the moment my hand was free, I snatched the key away, hissing at him, and punched him into his face before uncuffing myself. Breaker. You little. Before he could say anything else, I punched him in the gut and jump kicked him on the side of his head. Breaker fell down. Not wanting to give him the opportunity to stand up again, I began kicking him in the stomach. A loud cracking sound could be heard. I was sure one or two of his ribs just broke and pierced through his lung because he was now in a coughing fit and he coughed up blood. I grabbed him by the hair and pulled him up in a kneeling position and then jump kicked his head as if it was some kind of sandbag. Using all the force I could muster, I kicked him hard. My foot connected with his head and he was immediately down on the ground unconscious. The moment his skull hit the ground, a loud cracking sound could be heard. Serves you right, you shithead. I then took the cuffs that were laying on the ground after he uncuffed me and cuffed him. Next, I put him on the wall where I was hanging only a moment ago. I need to get Kachan out of here. Walking to the next room, I could hear someone being inside of it and Kachan scream. Oh hell no. I kicked the door open and ran to the man holding a whip in his hand. Bones. How? Before he could say any more nonsense or scream for help, I sidestepped him and jump kicked him too. God damn, why are all the Black Roses members so tall? He was swaying to the side before hitting his face against the wall. Before he could, however, regain his full balance, I was already on my next move. I swept him up from his feet and then kicked the air out of his lungs. Me. Where are the keys? Bones. Die bitch. Me. Sure, meet me in hell, idiot. I grabbed his head and forced him to look up again. While I did that, I could see the key hanging around his neck. Me. Around your neck, huh? Bones. Go to hell. Me. Already reserved my suit. Say what? Are keys some kind of accessory? Me. Thank you very much. I was sure he had a concussion because of me, and if that wasn't enough, I hit his head exactly 3 times against the floor until he was unconscious. Needless to say, I was in a blind rage because of the smell in the room. It was Kachan's blood. The shock that I felt this time was a lot higher than the last couple ones. Shit, did they make it so that I won't be able to gain any kind of pain tolerance over it? How long did they plan this? I took the key from around his neck and it sure was attached to a golden necklace. This man is crazy. Why would you wear this around your neck? I then took a look the first time I entered the room at Kachan. He looked beaten up, even barely conscious. He had visible bruises and cuts all over his body. The cuts around his torso looked deep and I wished I had a healing quirk and heal him up, but the sad reality was that I was still quirkless. I went to his side and began lightly tapping his shoulder. Me. Kachan? No respond. Me. Kachan? I saw how his eyes began to move my way. Me. I will uncuff you, but you have to stay in the room unless I get you. Can you do that? I was tearing up seeing my best friend for life and brother look like this. Kachan nodded at me very weakly and I released him from all the cuffs, including the quirk suppression collar he had too. From the look around his neck, he also tried to use his quirk multiple times. And I found myself wondering again, how long was I out and how long they got him here? I then left Kachan on the ground and behind the door I kicked open so that he wouldn't be seen immediately and went out of the room. Stay strong, Kachan. I searched for a way up and I soon found one. As soon as I was up, I slowly began to listen for more people. Thankfully there were none, and this was why I went back and got Kachan out of the basement. Guess my pain tolerance is a lot higher. I couldn't believe that I was still up and going around after all the shocks and the broken bone I had, including all the injuries from the car accident. We need to get out of here. I put one of his arm around my neck, so that he could lean against me for support. This was the only way we could get out of here, and I would rather we make it out than stay here any minute longer. I was sure that these guys in the room were not the mastermind behind this all, and seeing as there were only 2 peoples around was kinda suspicious. With my help, Kachan and I got to the front door. Of fucking course it is locked. Since it was locked, I started kicking the door down until it fell down to the ground. I was very angry and my pulse was up to the top, to say the least. I felt the shocks and ignored them as we walked out of the house. The problem now was I didn't know where exactly we were. It looked like we were in the abandoned part of the town, but not the side where I usually patrol. Then I remembered the location of their old hideout and could only think that maybe we were inside of a part of the huge building. I was sure that we actually were on the opposite side of the city, and so I began walking towards where I believed was the center of the city. It was broad daylight and someone was sure to notice 2 bloody kids and one with a collar walking barefoot and blood covering their cloths around the town. After a long time walking, I could feel Bakugo getting heavier. No. Me. Kachan. No respond. Me. Kachan. Again nothing. Me. Bakugo fucking Katsuki. Don't you dare give up on me. He began feeling heavier. Me. Dandelion. Wake up please. 1 hour after we escaped, Kachan collapsed on me and I was pulling him beside me, always making sure I wouldn't injure him while I was dragging him beside me. I began crying but still refusing to let go of hope that someone would find us or me reaching and finding a hospital. 3 hours later and I was in the center of the city. I was out of breath and completely exhausted. Every step I made was becoming harder. Now I could definitely feel all the damage I received from the shock collar and the car crash, and I was sure that while I was out that they did something to me as my side was burning and I felt lightheaded. Breathing became harder and I could see some black dots. However, I ignored them and was just walking straight. I could feel the blood dripping from my head and running down my face and the migraine I had because of everything I went through. 30 minutes later and I was about to collapse when something caught me in the nick of time. Took you long enough. It was a person that caught me in his arms and all I could see was someone completely in black, and I knew that it was Eraserhead. Mike. Little listener, we got you. You are both safe. That was all I heard before blacking out. Chapter 15. My precious soon-to-be son. Aizawa's POV. I barely slept for 2 days. There was not even one moment where I stopped searching for him. It was around 4 p.m. and I was searching for him again and again and again. There was no street and no alley that I didn't search through. I even checked every abandoned building, but there was no sign of my soon-to-be son. Not a single information about him. Damn it, how can they be so thoroughly? Why doesn't Nezu tell us about their whereabouts? It was only after the 3rd day that Nezu told us their whereabouts and also the location. He told us we would attack at 6 p.m. and it was currently 4 p.m. and this was currently where me and Zashi were heading. We knew it was way too early for it, but both of us were worried and wanted our soon-to-be son back. However, after we were running towards the scene where we would meet up the others there, we found Izuku dragging his best friend and walking on the street. He looked bad, and the most surprising thing was that he was carrying Bakugo. I quickly went to his side and caught him before he could hit the ground. I could see that exhaustion was eating at the poor kid. I carefully picked him up and let my husband take Bakugo. Don't you dare die on me, problem child. Stay strong. Me. Stay strong, kid. Izuku was slightly shaking by my touch, and I was wondering once again what he must have been through. The poor thing had blood all over him. He had some cut wounds that looked pretty deep. Then the collar around his neck was thick, and I knew that it was a quirk suppression shock collar from the black market. I could smell the burned skin and saw the blood all around it. He looked so much in pain even in his unconscious state. Then I saw the blood dripping down from his head. He had a bad head wound and some glass still sticking in his skin. Me. I'll get you to Chio, kid. As I gently picked him up bridal style, I could feel how hot he was. Izuku was literally burning from the inside out. I knew I needed to get him to a healer and fast. Please stay strong, don't give up. With that in mind, I immediately ran to UA. I luckily had my earbud on me that was connected to my phone. All I had to do if I wanted to call someone was giving the command for it. Me. Call Nezu. It was the newest invention from the support course and it was handy to say the least. I could immediately hear the ringing sound and it didn't take long for the creature to pick up. Me. I have Izuku and I'm on my way to Ua. Then the phone call ended. There was nothing more that needed to be said. Not even 5 minutes later, I arrived in front of the main building. The moment my feet touched the ground, I was immediately running to the infirmary. We are here, kitten. You will get the treatment you deserve. Once I entered the infirmary, I put Izuku and the hero down. Next thing I know, I was thrown out of the room by the healer. Nezu was too. Me. I'll get the black roses back for this. Mike. They will pay for this. Nezu. Where did you find him? Me. On the streets. It looked like he was heading this way. He was carrying Bakugo. Mike. You saw the collar? Nezu. A quirk suppression shock collar. Me. Yes, the newest and strongest one on the black market. Nezu. I hope he won't sustain any injuries from it that can't be healed. Mike. Me too. We waited a full hour for the healer to come out and brief us about their conditions. Me. How is my green bean? Chio. He is in a rather critical condition and I need Powerloader's help to remove the collar from him. Mike. What about the other kid? Chio. He didn't had any at all, and when I tried to get Izuku's of it immediately went off on the highest voltage, and thanks to that I needed to give him an oxygen mask. I can't treat his injured neck while he has that thing on, and by the looks of it they also may have drugged him. I am also unable to use my quirk on him since he is currently way too weak, which makes recovery harder than it should be. Furthermore, I decided to put him in an artificial coma because he wasn't reacting to the pain as the collar went off. I don't want to make the child suffer any more than he already did. Nezu. I am going to get Powerloader immediately. Nezu. I'll inform Detective Tsukachi about this turn of event and all the other pro heroes after sending Powerloader to me. The rescue mission is now officially a capture mission. Now that we know that they are safe, there is no need to hold back anymore. If you guys want to participate in it, you should go now. Me. I'll stay here. Mike. Me too. Chio. I am gonna stay here and see what I can for both of them. Me. Mike and Chio went back into the two children's bed and 15 minutes later Powerloader came in. Powerloader. Where is the kid? Chio. He is laying right there. Be careful, I tried to get it off but it went off immediately. Another shock from that shock collar at maximum might kill him. Powerloader. I understand. 4 hours later and Powerloader got the collar of Izuku, but after seeing what type of collar it was, his blood and everyone else's in the room froze. Powerloader. Oh my gosh, who does that? Chio. I don't know. Mike. Let me kill them. Me. Zashi, calm down. They'll get what they deserve. The collar had some needles on the inside that would directly conduct the voltage into his body. Furthermore, they were attached on the back of his neck directly, it connected to his spine and on the side of his throat, piercing his carotid artery. Then there were spikes that were not sharp but were intended to choke him while he gets electrocuted by it. After we carefully removed the collar and its 4x5 cm needles from his spine and the 2x3 cm side needles that were about 5 mm thick after the needle point. It was a gruesome sight. I watched how Chio carefully applied some ointment, and gave him an injection which she told us is an antidote to whatever drug they put in him, and then wrapped up his neck. Izuku looked like a porcelain doll. His skin was unnaturally white from all the pain, blood loose and the drug, poison. Powerloader. Will he be okay? Chio. I don't know yet. I hated it. I was so powerless. He was my kid and I was there when they got him. I should have been the one that they tortured and not him. Chio. You should get the collar to Nezu.